So most people don't fail at their goals because they lack motivation. They fail because they don't have a routine that supports that goal. Goals, they really live in the future. But our routines and habits, they live in today. So if you want to finish goals, whether that's improving your mood or getting healthier, growing spiritually or stabilizing your life, you have the goal, but when you're doing the day to day, you start with the habit that shows up every day. Every habit follows the same basic pattern. I'm going to give you the cheat sheet and the hack on how to do a habit. First, there is the cue. This is the signal that tells your brain it's time. It may be waking up, it may be an alarm, it may be a thought, it may be once you get into a certain office setting or a location. That is the trigger. But secondly, there is then the act or the behavior itself. This is the actual thing that you're going to do. For example, it could be reading in the morning, it could be exercising, it could be, drinking 2 cups of coffee or waking up at a certain time, taking your medication. This is the part that people usually focus on, but this is actually only one piece of the puzzle. Probably the most important part of the puzzle is the reward. This is the part that matters more than people realize. In the brain, when we release dopamine feels good, and the brain likes to repeat things that feel good. But here's the key. You have to choose a reward that you actually like. Not that most people like or you kind of gonna like, but that you're gonna actually like or even love, what you genuinely enjoy. So what could that reward be? It could be your favorite coffee. It could be a small piece of chocolate. It could be listening to your favorite song. It could be sitting in your favorite chair. Think of this almost like you're trying to train a dog. When a dog follows a command, it gets a treat immediately. Not later, but it gets that treat right away. And our brains work the same way. If you want your brain to repeat a habit or an act, the reward has to be awesome, and the reward has to come right after the behavior. And that's how the brain connects the dots. I did this and that felt good. When that happens, the brain starts to want that behavior over and over again. Over time, this then creates a craving, the desire, the anticipation of actually getting that reward. And that keeps this habit going over and over without much effort. So every time you repeat this loop, something deeper happens. You're not just doing this particular action, but now you try to change your identity. When you read consistently, your brain starts to believe, I am someone who reads. When you move your body regularly, I'm someone who takes care of myself. When you show up even on hard days, it says, I'm someone who follows through. This is why habits are more powerful than motivation. Motivation fades away. If it rains too hard, if it's too cold outside, or we're too tired, motivation just goes away. But this identity, these healthy habits, they stick, they create stability, even when our emotions are unpredictable. A perfect routine, you just need a routine that you can repeat. Habits over time. And this stuff, we're creating this habit, it takes a while. It takes probably a few weeks before these things become automatic, not just a couple of days, but probably somewhere in the range of 60 to 80 days. So as we go into this new year and we're trying to address these New Year's resolutions, things that we want to do better, start with the small habit, with the cue, with the action and the reward, whether it's taking our medication on time, whether it's making sure we get to work on time, getting regular exercise, reading more, putting down our phone, whatever it is, we want to have small changes because, once we build this habit, if you do it consistently, your goal would be almost inevitable. Choose one cue, choose one act, choose one reward that you truly enjoy, do it tomorrow, then do it again, and do it again. And that's how routines turn into habits, and habits turn into completed goals. And completed goals actually fulfill your New Year's resolutions. If you found this to be helpful, please listen to it 2 or 3 times to make sure you get the concepts. Share it with someone who you think may benefit from this. Subscribe to all of my platforms so you can get more information. And God bless you.